Hi, in this episode, I am going to tell you how the US government remotely locked down a 737 Belarusian presidents bought from Boeing, in response to an ongoing crackdown on the country's pro-democracy movement. This is according to two separate reports by finance.discuss.com.hk of Hong Kong and Radio Free Europe. This has not been reported by the mainstream media in the West at all. If you want to hear more facts and truths the mainstream media in the West are not telling you, please comment, like, share and subscribe to all video in my channel by clicking the bell. The United States taught the world another robbery lesson. Self-certified Prism Gate. Ordering Boeing to remotely shut down the engine of the Belarusian presidential plane, the United States digs its own grave again. The truth of the Malaysia Airlines incident that year came to light. On March 24, local time, the U.S. Treasury Department announced a new sanction measure against Belarusian President Lukashenko's special plane, Boeing 737. The U.S. Treasury Department claims that a Boeing 737 airliner EW001PA of the Belarusian government is the presidential plane of Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. Lukashenko himself, his family and his closest aides took the plane to visit, and Lukashenko was sanctioned by the U.S. government, so the U.S. government wants to sanction the passenger plane. One country sanction another country's property, such as a passenger plane, how should it be sanctioned? How can it be sanctioned? The U.S. government first declared that the Belarusian presidential plane is now the frozen property of the U.S. Treasury Department. In other words, the U.S. government turned the state property that originally belonged to Belarus into the property of the U.S. government with a statement. Secondly, the U.S. government locked the engine of the Belarusian presidential plane through remote control. That is to say, although this Boeing 737 passenger plane is now Belarusian and is also in Belarus, the United States can remotely control and shut down the engine of this passenger plane. The way to control is that the U.S. government issues an order to Boeing in the United States to order Boeing to shut down the engine of the presidential plane in Belarus, turning the presidential plane into a pile of scrap iron. Now, I am afraid that if the president of Belarus is allowed to take this special plane, he will not take it anymore. You said it was flying, and suddenly the engine was remotely shut down by the Americans. Wouldn't that be a plane crash? The fact that the United States has backdoors in all technological products, operating systems, and software it produces and manufactures has been more thoroughly exposed. If the United States can even control airplanes through the back door, then the Apple mobile phones and Tesla cars produced in the United States, especially the operating systems of Microsoft, Apple, and Google, can be controlled through the back door. Is the Apple mobile phone and Android mobile phone in your hand, the computer and tablet with the Microsoft operating system you use, and the Tesla car you drive, still yours? Can you still use it? It's really scary to think about it. So, which Boeing aircraft airplane inexplicable 8-person air crash? There is an answer. However, in the editor's view, this move by the United States is another act of digging its own grave, which is the same as the previous U.S. government decoupling and cutting off the supply of Chinese chips and removing Russia from the U.S. dollar settlement system. The U.S. government uses its long-arm jurisdiction to force the decoupling of China's high-end chip supply. The result is that China abandons illusions, devotes all its efforts to tackling key problems, and establishes its own chip system. The result is that countries all over the world have no sense of security towards the U.S. dollar, and are actively promoting de-dollarization and RMB settlement. And the United States brazenly used Boeing to shut down the engines of passenger planes that have been sold to other countries, and the president of a country shut down. The consequences will inevitably be that the world will lose the most basic sense of security for American products, especially American Boeing airliners. Stay away from American technology products. First of all, this has completely exposed the fact that the United States has backdoors in all technological products, operating systems, and software it produces and manufactures. If the United States can remotely control the airliners produced by Boeing, then those American fighter jets exported by the United States will not be a problem. So, do these fighters belong to those countries or the United States? This obviously becomes a problem. More importantly, if the United States can even control airplanes through the back door, then the Apple mobile phones and Tesla cars produced in the United States, especially the operating systems of Microsoft, Apple, and Google, can be controlled through the back door. Therefore, once the United States controls these products through the back door and installs these operating systems or even a simple software product, then when the time comes, your Apple mobile phone, Android mobile phone, the computer and tablet with the Microsoft operating system you use, and the products you drive, Tesla cars, even important industrial products with American systems, are they still yours? Can you still use it? It's really scary to think about. And these facts have been uncovered as early as the Xiamen incident. At least, if you are using the above-mentioned products now, then all your information on this product is being monitored by the United States at all times. And even the data has long been transmitted to the United States. Secondly, this incident gives people reason to believe that there may already be answers to those Boeing airliner crashes in history for which the cause cannot be found out. If Boeing can turn off the engines of the passenger planes it has sold at will, then obviously its engines can also be turned off at any time when the plane is flying. Isn't this a typical air crash? So, do some countries that do not have a good relationship with the United States dare to buy American Boeing airliners? I am afraid that the large passenger aircraft produced by China will be the first choice of these countries. In the end, let the United States dig its own grave deeper and deeper. Thanks for watching. If you want to hear more facts and truths the mainstream media in the West are not telling you, please comment, like, share and subscribe to all video in my channel by clicking the bell. Thank you.